Hey, good morning. How are you? We're going to do mornings with Mary for a little bit. I want to talk to you today about parental control. And what does that really mean? Um, you know, People have this idea, especially a lot of parents, that they can control what their kids do, and that by controlling it, they can keep their kids safe. And the truth of the matter is, you really can't. Your kids are going to try things. They're going to go out of their way to actually probably make sure you don't know what they're doing. And that can be really scary. It can really be frightening when you're looking at your teenager and you're like, well, why aren't you talking to me? Or what's happening? Or why is it that you're not giving me this information and I have to find out everything that you're doing? Well, then you're moving from a place of fear rather than a place of love. And it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire huge right in your face because they're going to feel that you don't trust them. And this goes back to what we were talking about yesterday about, when you don't trust your child, when you don't talk with them, and when you start putting those walls up as early as a couple weeks old or a couple years old. We use the Ferber method, let them cry it out, or we stick them in timeout and we alienate them. We're teaching them, no, you don't talk to me, that there's nothing that you have to say that I want to listen to. So by the time they are on the internet, let's say 7, 8, they've already learned they can't turn to you. They've learned you're not to be talked to. So then what does a parent do, right? So you have the internet where they have access to predators everywhere. It is terrifying. You actually have to kind of trust them. You have to trust that you've done a good job. I'm not saying don't have parental controls. You can use them. That's fine. But make sure that when you're using them, it's for their safety, not for you to control what they're doing. Because you're probably not going to like a lot of the stuff that they look at. Their life is different than yours. They were born in a different time than you. So their interests are not going to be yours. So, for example, Sarah watches YouTube videos. Do I go through and look at what she's looking at? No. Is there a chance she's looking at things that are inappropriate? Probably. I mean, we sit down, we watch them together. I can see her history right there. She looks at mostly crafting things, and she really likes BuzzFeed. And, I don't know, there's some other Lovely or something with the girls from BuzzFeed that she looks at. But we talk a lot about safety and how to handle the internet. But really handling the internet is really no different than handling everyday life with bullies and exposures. And you cannot be there all the time. You can only be there a small percentage of the time. You have to trust that you have instilled the right values in your child, that they are going to be able to pick it up and know when something is right and know when something is wrong. Now, it doesn't mean they always will. At one point, my oldest got into some trouble looking at things that she shouldn't have. It was inappropriate things. And she also was communicating with people that were probably not best for her. And we knew something was up because of the way that she was acting. It was completely out of character. And so when we did take her phone to find out what was going on, we did it with her knowledge, not her consent, but her knowledge. And then we discovered that she had been sending some inappropriate pictures that had been going back and forth. And it wasn't so much really that the skin was being exposed. It's skin is skin, boobies are boobies, butts are butts, all that stuff. But that we, as the adults, could be arrested. Now, she had no idea of the legal ramifications of what she was doing. She was under 18, and she had no idea. She just knew that she wanted justification for herself, justification that she was beautiful. She didn't have that internal guidance system that said, I'm valuable, I'm beautiful, I have a reason to trust and value myself. So she was going elsewhere to look for that. Like I said, it wasn't so much a big deal that there were pictures of skin. It was that her dad and I could get in trouble. And when she found that out, that completely changed how she handled it. But she still needed the affirmation about herself to be beautiful. So she would take different types of pictures that were no longer inappropriate and be able to get that feedback. So it really comes down to communicating with your child. It all comes back to parenting in partnership. If you're not using your parenting platform as a good leader and as someone who wants to partner with them, you're going to have this wall up. And that wall is going to create a distance between your child. And they're not going to want to communicate with you. They're not going to want to listen to you. Because why should they? You're like the enemy. You're the one who doesn't make it like that they can approach you, that they can be with you, that they can talk to you. So you need to think about ways that you can become more approachable. What can you share with them? Is it a simple cup of coffee? Is it staying up late at night because that's what they do? Is it finding an interest that you share in common, or really that you don't share in common but you're willing to try on for your child? You want to find ways that you are involved in their world, involved with their friends, involved with their friends' parents, if that is something that is, interesting to you. You want to make sure that everything that you're doing is for the betterment of your relationship, not for the deterrent of your relationship. So let's say they're having a mood, right? Okay, is that mood really about you, or is it about them? It's about them. Let it roll. Let's say they want to, you want to control what they look like, right? Because what they look like is all about you. No, it's not. It's about them. It's about expressing themselves. It's about being authentic to themselves. Do not get caught up in this game that what they say and do is about you, because it's not unless you make it about you. Okay, so if you make the entire game of growing up about you, it's going to be about you. Otherwise, it needs to be about them. This is their experience, their growth, their world. It's not yours. So, for example, one time we were in CVS, and Elizabeth at the time had blue hair and a lip piercing and tattoos. And the guy behind us in line was like, yeah, I'm sure your mother loves what you're doing. And we just sort of looked at him, and I was like, yeah, I do. I brought her to get the tattoos. I dyed her hair blue. This is how she expresses herself. Oh my God. A parent that supports their child. Who would have thought it? Apparently not the guy. He thought she was rebelling. Well, when you parent in partnership, there's nothing to rebel against, which sometimes I think kind of pisses Elizabeth off. I have to be honest. I think sometimes she's like, it's like Jell-O. I have nothing to push against. Yes, she does. Okay? The only things that are rules in our house, okay, and these are steadfast rules, is safety for yourself and safety for others, as well as respect for yourself and respect for others and respect for the space around you. Because really, those are the basis of all the things that make up a good person, right? So if you are disrespecting other people, then you're also you're not respecting yourself. If you're not respecting the space you're in, if you're leaving garbage everywhere, you're not respecting yourself. It all comes back to, how do you respect yourself? How do you respect others? And what is your safety? I will only step in if she is in danger, whether she is in danger to herself or a danger to others. And there's a lot of things you need to think about when it comes to control as a parent. Really, how much of whatever it is that you want to control is going to matter in 5 years? What's more important, your relationship or the thing that you're trying to control? Do you really just need to educate rather than alienate? Because really, what is it all about? It's about fear. It's about your fear for your child, right? So what is the opposite of fear? Education and learning and knowledge. You can't have fear if you have knowledge. So educate. Educate yourself, educate your child, educate each other together, and then you will understand what's going on. But if you just operate out of fear, you're going to destroy your relationship. You're going to destroy any hope that you have at working together. And it's going to fall, and it's going to fail. And then it's just going to be a matter of thing after thing after thing after thing that you're trying desperately to grab control of because you're frightened. And you're going to continue to destroy that relationship. So I want you to think about that today. Think about, what is it that you're controlling that doesn't deserve to be yours? Think about, how can you improve that relationship with your child? How can you move forward and move out of love rather than fear? And when you feel that fear like building in yourself, because it happens, usually many times throughout the day, stop and say, will this matter in 5 years? Is their safety at risk? Is my safety at risk, or someone else that they love? Is that safety at risk? Are they respecting themselves, respecting others, and respecting their space? If it's not going to matter in 5 years, chillax, woman. Back off. Let them learn their lesson. Like, do not interrupt the lesson they need to learn, because here's a news flash for you. They're going to learn it anyway. And they can either learn it with your support or without your support. Let's say they've got a friend that you don't like. Well, get over it. Because there's a lesson in that friend that they need at that point in their life. You can help educate them. You can help say, hey, this is what I'm concerned about, This is the pitfalls that I see with that. I've been down a similar road. This is what happened on that road. You can be their tour guide. You can be their facilitator. You cannot learn that lesson for them. And if you interrupt that lesson for them, they're going to find someone else to learn that lesson with who could potentially be more dangerous for them. Do you really want to do that? Do you really want to stop their learning? If that friend was a worksheet, would you stop their worksheet because you thought it was too difficult? Would you make it so that they wouldn't know what it is that they were supposed to learn? Of course you wouldn't. So get off your high horse, let them learn their lesson, and be there for them when they fall. And don't you ever laugh at them or tell them I told you so. Your job as the parent, as I see it, is to be the one that lifts them up. You hand them a hand and you lift them out of whatever it is. You talk with them about, what did you learn? What could you have done differently? What did you see coming that you ignored? What did you not see coming that you're going to see coming next time? So whether this is a bad relationship, it's a work relationship, a personal relationship, a friend relationship, even a class. My Lord, who has not taken a class where the teacher was like an asshole, right? I did. You can't know that before you get in there. Sometimes you can quit things, sometimes you can't. But ultimately, what is the goal that you want with your control? Do you want to keep your child safe? You can't. They live in a different world than us. They live in a different time than us. You can't teach them what you know because they live in a different time. I remember when I was a kid, I'd look at my parents and say, you don't understand. You haven't been through this. Okay, we understand the concept. We understand the precipice of it all, but we do not understand what they're going through. Let's look at the Facebook Live right now, right? We didn't have this growing up. If we were being bullied, we left school and we didn't have to answer the phone. Isn't that amazing? Well, now, how do they not answer their social media? How do they not partake in this? Everywhere they go, it is around them. It's a world we don't understand. We did not grow up in it. We visit it, but we don't live in it. They live in it. So what skills can you give them? What ability do you have to share with them? You have insight. You have different experiences. But really what you have is the ability to support and love them and lift them up when they fall, help them dust off their knees, and help them say, what did you learn? That's it. So when you start feeling that you need to control things again, that it's all about you, or you're moving from fear, remember, nothing good comes out of moving from fear. You need to move from love. And to go from fear to love means you need to educate. You need to gain knowledge, and you need to communicate. So again, I want you to think about what it is today as you go through your day where you're moving out of fear rather than love, why that is, and what does that trigger in you? Like, why do you want to control this? And then keep asking yourself, why? Why do I want to control this? What am I looking for? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do that? And you're going to get to really the seed of the issue. And I don't know what the seed of the issue is for you. I can say often the seed of the issue for me is I don't want them to get hurt. Well, they're going to get hurt. You don't learn without getting hurt. You don't grow bigger muscles when you go to the gym without lactic acid afterward. You're going to hurt. The lactic acid in relationships is the pain that happens. The lactic acid in parental control, all of that. So take time. Ask why. Ask yourself why before you approach them. Don't react. Reacting is acting the same way. Again, to repeat. Act like them. Don't do this. Don't react. It's not worth it. Act. Think first. Say safety, respect. Are these two being, taken advantage of? If so, communicate. It's really not that difficult. You don't need to control everything. Let them learn their lessons, but be there for them. So that was today's thought of parental control, how to chillax. If you want to read some more about parental control, I actually have some really good articles. They're kind of controversial on workingwoman.com. You can look it up by Mary Harrington. It's Harrington with an E, so you can look them up and read them, or you can actually see them on my website, which is maryharrington.com. And I'm thinking I'm probably going to come in and maybe we'll do mornings with Mary. I'm going to do this for about a month straight. I'm going to dress like a mom. I'm going to be a mom. And let's just get real. I'm so tired of all these totally perfectly premed people. Look, I'm having a bad hair today. See, it's in a ponytail. I'm human, all right? Let's just be human together. Ask any questions you have below. Give me some idea for topics. Otherwise, you're going to sit here and listen to me blab on things that I want to talk about. It may not be what you want to talk about. So comment below. Let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know where you're from. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you listened. And feel free to share this. Let's get it going, because you know what? The whole thing about parenting and control is that it's an illusion. So pass this on to someone who you think needs it. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9. I'm going to go take my coffee. Bye-bye.